What's up, guys, and welcome back. If this is the first time we meet, my name is Matt Samolski. I'm Matt the Car Guy. On this channel I do car reviews, and today I'm here at McGrath Volvo Cars of Fort Myers, Florida with this 2023 Volvo XC90. Now this is a B6 with the plus trim, and today I'm going to take you on the complete tour of this vehicle. So we're going to check it out from the exterior, interior, jump inside of it, play with some cool and interesting features. At the end of this video, I'm going to take you for a ride in it. Now before we do all that, I have one quick favor to ask you. If you can go to the left hand side of your screen, click that subscribe button. If you like automotive content, you won't regret it. Now let's get back to this video. If you heard the definition, if it's not broken, don't fix it, then you can definitely see that in this particular model. Now, this generation of the XC90 was actually introduced back in 2015, and with some changes, it's basically the same as it was. Now, Volvo's pretty good about changing a little bit here and there over the years, and every year they've improved something. But between 2022 and 2023, I really don't see any changes, at least on the exterior of it. I know the biggest change is underneath the hood, but we'll get to it. But before we do, let's take a look at the hood itself. It's nice, it's long, it's nicely sculpted right here, creating those indents on both sides for better aerodynamics and a cooler look. But one of the best things about this XC90, I think, is the lights. This whole headlight unit, now a lot of people refer to it as a Thor's hammer light design, and you can see them blinking amber right now, but they were not blinking. They're actually a daytime running lights, and they're white, and the whole headlight unit's got a LED design. And it includes, of course, the low beams, the high beams. It does have an auto high beam feature and auto bending lights, which bend whichever direction you turn the steering wheel. Now, this Plus model also includes the headlight washing system. As you scroll down at the bottom here, you see that there are fog lights as well. So that's as far as the light setup. Let's take a look at the grille. Nice, big, bold grille. Now, they have two different themes. The bright theme, which is obviously this one, a lot of chrome in here, and then the dark theme, which is available on some trim levels as well. Now, big Volvo logo with the arrow pointing out where their latch is for the hood, and then scrolling down in here, you have a little bit of this matte black color right between the top portion of the bumper and this bottom fascia right here. Now, very nice, very cool design if you ask me. Now let's pop the hood and let's see what changed. Before we take a look at the engine, look at this hood, look how high it is. I love it on all of the Volvos. It's really cool design. Now, as far as the engine itself, what do we have here? Now, it is a 2.0 liter turbocharged and e-charged engine that also includes a mild hybrid system. The total output of the engine, 295 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque, and that's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission that can send the power to all wheels. Now, as far as the 0 to 60, it is about 6.4 seconds with this. This is the more powerful engine. There is also a B5 designation. By the way, if I haven't mentioned that before, B stands for battery. So instead of T5, T6 for last year's, they have the B5 and B6. B5 being the basic engine, 247 horsepower. Now you have the B6 with 295. So a lot more powerful. It also saves you about a second from 0 to 60. It's got the same look on the side as it did in 2022. I gotta tell you, I still like it. I still think it's one of the coolest designs. Now, if you look at this trim piece over here, this cladding that's around the wheels, it's the same color as the rest of the vehicle, but it's sticking out. They kind of accentuate that wheel well a little bit more. Now, at the bottom here, again, you have some trim pieces over here, and since this is the bright trim, you have this chrome trim right alongside the bottom. Now what you get with the Plus trim, you get the 20-inch wheels. Now these have been upgraded to 21-inch wheels. I like the design, that two-tone design. You have a little bit of polished aluminum with the piano black on the inside. One thing to pay attention to, it also has a pretty large rotors in the back, like 13.6-inch rotors, 275 by 40. That's the size of the tires, and it does have the Pirelli brand tires. They're all season tires. Okay, what else is here? We do have the smart entry system on all 4 doors, so as long as you have the key on you, no matter to which door you get close to, you can open this door without pressing any buttons on the key. And of course, you have the turn signal indicator, the blind spot assist on the mirror itself, and this one does have the camera right here, so it does have a 360 feature on it. It does have the satin chrome trim around the windows and the piano black pillars that are painted for more seamless look, and also this aluminum roof rails that are on top of this vehicle. No change has been done on the back side of this vehicle. I still like the design of it, especially the lights. They've been a staple of the XC90 since its inception. They changed a little bit. Now they're fully LED lights. They incorporate the turn signals, the backup lights, the regular tail lights. They have a third brake light right here in this gate spoiler, and exposed wiper. I wish they kind of moved it up there and hide it. Volvo spelled out in here, XC90 on one side, B6, that's the new designation, all-wheel drive right over here. You have this polished aluminum trim right here to prevent the top of the bumper from scratching, and because this is a bright design, you do have this bright chrome trim at the bottom portion of the bumper. Bunch of sensors in here. That also includes the sensors for the gate opener. Now the vehicle is running and the key is inside, so we're gonna get this warning noise, but it's not gonna open. In order to open it, I do have to press the button on here or get inside of it and open it from there. Bunch of stuff in here. Let me get it out and I'll show you what the rest of it looks like. All right, well, what do we have here? Okay, so behind the third row seat, how much room do we have? Actually, now lengthwise, it's pretty long. Where the problem comes in is the way that this vehicle is contoured over here. And so you can basically use just the bottom portion of it. Anything taller than that won't fit because of the gate. But still, plenty of room behind the third row seat. What do we have underneath here? There is, of course, there's another panel underneath here, and you can see you actually do have a spare tire tools to remove it. Well, so if you're worrying about not having a spare tire, well, here's one. Now 12-volt power outlet in the back. You have some grocery hooks over here, so you can put some grocery bags so they don't run around or roll around in the back. And you do have the LED lights in the back here. Now the seats do fold down, so all you have to do is move this lever up and drop it for the seat to fold down completely, and you can do that the same thing. It drops the headrest and drops the seat. Now we can see what we have in the third row seat. Cup holders. I don't see any connectivity out here, no USB or USB-C ports, which I think would be important to have, but you do have your own vents right here on the pillars, so passengers in the back can also be comfortable and cooler or warmer depending on which weather you're in. Now the seats in the front, the second row seats, fold down as well to create even more cargo room. Back seat area, it's pretty spacious. I gotta tell you, I'm 6 feet tall. I have about 2-3 inches in front of my knees before I would hit that back of the seat. I also have about 3 inches, maybe a little bit more, above my head, and that's with this vehicle having a panoramic sunroof. So overall, it's pretty spacious and comfortable seating position. Now this particular one is a 6-seater, does have a pretty cool interior. Let me show you the rest of it. Let's start the interior tour with the rear door panel over here. All right, so what do we have? The standard features: door handle, lock, window control, and then everything here is wrapped in this nice soft leather. You do have this open pore wood trim right on top, and then at the bottom of here you have this aluminum wood trim. Really nice, really eye-pleasing design. You do have some storage right underneath here, and you have a speaker cover over here. Now, like I said, this is a 6-seater configuration, so you have 2 captain chairs in the middle here, which would probably be my preferred options. For anybody that has child seats, I mean, this would be the way to go. Otherwise, The third seat would be unusable if you have the child seats. You wouldn't be able to bend those out of the way, basically. Now, the third row seat, I sat in here, I do touch my knees to the second row seat, so this is definitely for somebody of a smaller stature, maybe children. Now we're gonna look at the seats itself, nicely profiled. It does have leather interior, but if you go with the ultimate trim, which is the trim above it, you're gonna have much smoother leather than what you have here. This is more of a grainy leather. I don't know if you can see that. It's still very nice, very comfortable, and it's a real deal. Now, if you look at this middle console right here, you have your controls over here, so you can control your temperature. You even have heated seats in the back, and you have the vents over here. Underneath here, you do have the USB-C ports, 2 of them, and cup holders for the rear passengers. Backs of the seats, they have the cargo nets, and an important thing to mention, that it also has vents on the pillar over here of the door. Well, Volvo's been known for the quality of build, so let's hear how the door sounds. Boom, nice and solid. Again, let's open this up. Let's see this door panel over here. You do have the memory seating for 3 different seating positions right here. Harman Kardon stereo. Now what's interesting, now on the ultimate trim, you also have the memory seats on the passenger seat. You don't get that on the plus trim that we have here. Now, same kind of look as on the rear door, but you do have your mirror windows and lock controls over here, and you do have a lot more storage right at the bottom of this door. Now, Volvo written on the door sill over here, and you do have a power control for both driver and passenger seats. And again, take a look at the seats itself. They're not very aggressive, they're nicely profiled. They remind me of the inscription trim from last year, and then we'll jump in and see the rest of it. Interior on this XC90 has not changed since 2022. There's some updates on the software. We're going to talk about it in just a second. But overall, a very elegant and eye-pleasing design. It's you can definitely see that Scandinavian design with minimalistic. There's not a lot of shine and not a lot of bling, but everything is in its place and as it should be. I particularly like the steering wheel and the way that it's designed. Look at this. It's got the 2-tone steering wheel. It's got the black on the side and this beige color on the interior of it. Looks really, really nice. Now, the one thing that I would change, and I know they had it for some times, is not the piano black buttons. They actually had the matte buttons. I don't know why they went back with this, but also, so you can see what's going on, and here is basically your cruise control, the distance that you can set between you and the car in front of you. That's all standard equipment. Now you have a few features, only a few features that you can change in the instrument cluster. We'll go through that, and then you can basically scroll down to whichever one you want and select it using the middle button over here. There's no pedal shifters, anything in the back. Let's take a look at this instrument cluster over here. So what we have on the left hand side, we have the speedometer. On the right hand side, we have a tachometer, also the gear indicator, the battery charge indicator, and the middle portion right here is we can make a little bit of change. You can put like your navigation system in here. That is about the only thing that you can do right here in this middle cluster over here. Now you do have some features that are displayed on it. Right on top of it, there's a temperature, and it says that only 1 seat is occupied in the vehicle, and that person is not wearing the seatbelt, and that person is me, and that you can see that up on top. Now moving on to this instrument cluster. Now, the infotainment system, I should say, we've seen that before, so we're still using that same vertical screen that we've seen on other Volvos. Now, it has been updated. I believe XC90 actually got it last year, and that's the new Google-based infotainment system. Now, the one biggest complaint that a lot of people had in the last year's model, that it didn't have the Apple CarPlay. Well, the good news is that you have it now. See Apple CarPlay right here. But also, they made a retroactive update for all of the vehicles. And I heard that you actually have to go to the dealership so they can update it, so you have it. So if you can't find it on the over-the-air update, go to the dealerships. If you have the first Google-based infotainment system, they'll update it for you. Overall, it is a fairly easy to use infotainment system. I'm still kind of on the fence between this and the previous system. I like the previous system a lot or you can go to the home screen if you like to, using this button over here. So you have the car status, connect your device, connect your phone, play the news. I mean, that's basically part of the Google setup. What I like about it, that they added this artificial intelligence, if you will. So you have your Google assistants in your car. So not only will navigate to where you want to go, but let's say if you want to find out when the business closes, you can ask that. Google Assistant, well, where's the nearest Costco? See, it sends it over to the maps, which are Google Maps. And I can also ask Google, when does the Costco close?
Costco Wholesale at 7171 Cypress Lake Drive closes at 8:30 p.m.
Thank you. So, you know, it's not only just the maps, you have actually your assistant that's built inside of here. And while we're at the maps, you know, let's take a look, for example, at the gas. So wherever gas prices are listed, you know, 370, not all of the gas stations do them for some reason, but you see Wawa, Racetrack, they list their gas prices, so that gets updated to Google as well. Now they have restaurant recommendations. You can see the rating over here. I like it. It's very intuitive. It's also very helpful, especially if you don't know where you're at. Go back to the home screen. That's pretty much what we see in here, but let's go to this sub screen over here, and then you can update a bunch of different apps through the Play Store. Okay, you can connect your Bluetooth media player, radio, Sirius XM. So that's what you have as far as your media. Take a look at the camera. Okay, so it does have a 360, but before we get there, you can see the rear view camera, kind of small, still takes up like half of the screen, and you have to click that 360 right in the middle to see the 360 camera. So the car just passed by, so that's real time. And then you have a bunch of cameras, and whichever angle you choose, you can actually select and see from that angle. The quality of the camera is not too bad. Now I do have this little screen, or the plastic on the screen, so I apologize for that, but I don't want to ruin the experience for the new owner of this vehicle. But decent quality of the camera, not the best. Again, I wish this would display like the entire screen if you put it in reverse. Now if you put it in reverse, you do have half a screen over here. Well, not the best, but then it shows you also you have the rear auto brake, parking sensors, so that's going to help you with navigating. Okay, well, let's put it in park, and then over here you have your climate control. You know, fairly intuitive, right? So you have two zones in the front. You can also have the clean zone as far as the automatic, and Volvo says that it removes about 95% of contaminants and particles. Max front window defogger, rear window defroster, AC, air recirculating button, lots of different stuff. Seats and steering wheel, heated seats, heated steering wheel on this model, passenger heated seat as well. Go back to settings over here. Again, you have driving, sound, connectivity controls, applications, profiles, Google's, and system. So there's a lot of customization in here. As far as driving, so this is driver's assist. You have that pilot assist, navigation-based pilot assist. You can turn on the off-road mode. I'm not sure what it does, but it has it. Lane keeping aid, road sign information, ready to drive notification. Steering feel firm. If the steering is not firm enough for you, you can actually adjust it manually. The one thing that I can't find on this vehicle, and maybe I don't know where I'm looking, so if you do know, let me know and correct me in the comment section. I can't find the drive modes. The drive modes were always available through here, and I don't see that anymore in any of those sub menus. Now if you go to the drive modes, it says that it has, but the only mode that's available is the off-road mode that I can turn on and off. So I don't know if they switched it to one mode that controls the vehicle, and you can just adjust the steering feel, which is for the most part what most of the modes would change anyways. But scrolling down here, you have some shortcuts, and that's for your climate control and the radio media. And if you want to open your glove box, that's right on the side. That's the mystery button over here. All right, scrolling down here, you have a nicely leather wrap over here and this open pore walnut wood. Now, what do we have here? right inside of here, you do have a little bit of storage, not sure for what, but then you don't have the wireless charger. Again, they took it away for some reason. You used to have it right here. There's a little tray. Now instead, you have a 12-volt charger. I think it's due to a chip shortage, but I'm not sure. And then you have your shifter. Now on the Ultimate trim, you will get this crystal shifter. So regular drive modes, parking, reverse, normal drive. Now the one difference too, you don't have to tap it twice to go in the drive. One pull and you get in the drive mode. So that's a change that they've made on the models as well. And this is how you start and stop the button. Always to your right, stop and start, same thing. Electronic parking brake, and then you can turn off that auto start stop feature on the vehicle. And you have a little bit more storage right underneath here with the USB-C port, 2 of them actually right down here. And then scrolling down on top, you have the regular mirror. Now as far as the visibility, I'm not sure if you can see from here. Now the seats, the third row seat are folded down, so actually it's pretty good visibility, but when they're up, when the headrests are up, they actually block a little bit of a view. Now you have the sunroof control over here, and the way you do it, basically you slide your finger over here, and as you can see, it's a one-touch operation. It opens up that shade and lets a lot more light inside of this cabin. And if you do it again, it actually opens up the sunroof. Very nice, very easy to do. One touch open, one touch close. You have the ability to chat with somebody, SOS, and then this is pretty much it. You do have your home link at the bottom of the mirrors, and let's see if the visor have illuminated mirrors, and it does. Well, this is the interior of it. Let's take it for a spin. One of the big changes for 2023, other than of course the powertrain, is the trim levels that are available. As you might remember, in 2022, Volvo had 3 different trim levels: the Momentum, Inscription, and R Design. Momentum was the base one, and then the R Design was the little bit more sporty model that had the little bit sportier seats and the exterior features on it. As far as the Inscription, it was the more luxurious one. Now they changed that, so right now you have 3 different levels that you can choose from. They call it levels right now. So Core is the entry-level equipment, and that's starts at $57,095. That's of course with the B5 motor. Plus it adds $3,900 to the price, and you get a little bit more features. That's what we have here. That's the Plus model. And then the Ultimate adds $13,200 to the price of the base model, and it's basically the optimum Volvo. It does have everything that you need, a lot of features on it. So now you have the ability to choose the different trim levels, and if I choose Plus, let's say that's the one that we're sitting in right now, and I look at the price configuration with the powertrain of the B6, it starts at about $64,495. That includes the $3,500 upgrade for the B6 powertrain. So this one is still about 67 and some change, and I'm going to post all of the equipment that was added to it in the description of this video so you can see, you know, that's what we have in here. Let's take it for a spin and let's see how it drives. First thing we do, as always, is turn this vehicle around. We do a 360 to see how tight the turning radius is, and we'll check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4 parking brakes. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're sticking out a little bit. So just about the same as any of the midsize SUVs. They're about 4.25 to 4.5 with similar wheelbase. They're all very similar in length, somewhere, you know, right around 200 inches, just a little bit under, a little bit over. Overall, very quiet on the interior. You can barely hear anything, and this is not an electric vehicle. You do have a nice view around, and like I mentioned before, now I have the third row seats folded, so there's no obstructions there. But when I drove it before and I had third seats up with the headrest, then they can definitely get in the way of sight. One thing I haven't mentioned, it does have a Harman Kardon stereo, and it does sound pretty good. Now, if you were an audiophile and if you want to pick up the ultimate trim and upgrade it with the Bowers and Wilkins stereo, you can definitely do that as well. We just went from the auto stop to starting the motor, and you can barely hear it. Part of the reason is because of this mild hybrid system. It actually pretty much almost like keeps the engine ready to go without hearing the engine to start up, if that makes any sense. So one of the other things that Volvo claims is that the reduced turbo lag. That's important because a lot of the turbocharged vehicles, you know, it takes them a little bit to react to when you put your foot down and spool that turbo, and they kind of shoot you like a slingshot. So we'll see in a moment if that's the case with this, or if they actually improved it like they claim they did. This vehicle is a mid-size sport utility, so it actually competes in the segment of a GLE, Mercedes-Benz, the X5 series, BMW, and I think as far as the interior, because of the way that it's structured, it's the most similar in dimensions as the Q7 Audi, so it's a little bit narrower and it's a little bit longer. That's at least the feeling that you have while sitting in this vehicle. There's no cars behind me, so we're gonna go from 0. You know, we got it up to about 55 miles per hour. I actually thought it was going to be a little bit quicker. They claim 6.4. Again, I didn't really gun it all the way. This is not my vehicle. This is a brand new car, and I don't want to damage anything on there. But definitely enough and substantial acceleration for the type of this vehicle. And then as I'm braking, the vehicle leans forward a little bit, but again, it does have a firm enough suspension to support that. Well, if anyone's looking for a mid-size SUV, that's definitely one not to be missed. I really like it. It might not be as fancy or as bright or as lit up as some of the competition, especially on the Mercedes with this bigger infotainment system, and the BMW, and with the ambient lighting and all that stuff. We will not find that on the Volvo, and the infotainment system is fairly small and fairly limited as far as the customization of what you can do. But then again, you know, on the other hand, Volvo claims, hey, the less stuff we put in there, the less stuff can break. And that's also something to consider when you're looking, especially at the expensive SUV. Again, I like it. I think they've done some nice updates, especially to the powertrain. You know, there's no turbo lag. When I accelerated just a little bit back there, I didn't feel any turbo lag when accelerating. There's an Apple CarPlay connectivity. You know, I still think that there is some room for improvement as far as the camera, as far as the infotainment system in this Volvo, especially when you're starting to get into the high 60s and the $70,000 mark. A lot of people might expect a little bit more from it, but don't rule it out. Check it out. If you're anywhere in Florida, check out the guys at McGrath Volvo Cars of Fort Myers. And if you like watching videos like this, I hope this was helpful. I hope you like it. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.